Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. And what we're going to make is actually, they call it a Danish layer cake. I got this recipe from someone from church. She said that it was specifically from Denmark. So you folks that are Danish, I don't know for sure if it's origin or that type of thing, but it was a great tasting cake, a great looking cake, and I asked her for the recipe and she gave it to me. So she did call it a Danish layer cake from Denmark. And it's pretty easy to make. So let's get started. First, you're going to start off with 4 eggs that are at room temperature. I'm going to put one in at a time, and till they're nice and yellow and fluffy. Now, I warn you about the sound because it might get a little loud with the stand-up. All right, the second egg is in right now, and the third. Spend a few minutes beating this and whatever. I'm going to turn my mixer up higher just to move it along. So again, I'm going to warn you about the sound. I just want to finish up beating these last of the 4 eggs that I just put in. Okay, and again, beat them till they're nice and lemony color, light color, pale color. And we're going to put in a cup of granulated sugar at a time. Now you can use your hand mixer for this if you want. You don't have to use your stand. And beat that cup in. And I'm going to raise the speed again. So here comes the sound. Now, once that you feel that you've got those 4 eggs beaten nicely and you've incorporated your granulated sugar and beaten that well, you know, it might be 2 or 3 minutes, that type of thing. Now, you can alternate your dry with your wet, with your water, but I generally, she told me just to follow it through and put everything together. So the next thing we're going to put in is 5 tablespoons of cold water. 5 tablespoons of cold water. Now, I'm giving you all the directions up front because I no longer put the ingredients at the bottom of my videos, and I'm sorry about that if it causes inconvenience, but I really stopped doing it because so many people are taking my videos, publishing them, posting them, putting them on sites, and I only put my my videos on YouTube. So I'm, you know, trying to take my time and really explain the recipe, okay? Alright, now again, you'll want to really beat this so it's very light and very fluffy, okay? The next thing we're going to be putting in is all-purpose flour. You're going to need 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of flour. And we'll beat that in. I'm going to raise my speed, warn you about the sound. We're also going to be putting in 2 teaspoons of baking powder. 2 teaspoons. The last thing that you're going to put in is 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then beat it again till it's very, very light, and you know you've done a good job mixing it. You need at least 2 pans, and 8 or 9 inch. These are 9 inch. You'll want to grease them and dust them with flour. If you want to use your parchment paper, feel free. Okay, I'm going to take my paddle out of here, and then real quick, and just to make sure that everything was combined on the bottom. This makes for a very light, delicate sponge, but it's not so delicate that you can't cut it. Now, I'm going to do things a little bit different on this video because I'm gonna fill these pans and talk about the baking and all that, but I'm going to assemble it in front of you. So it's a little bit different than what I'm used to doing, okay? And then just pour your batter. I don't know if you can see, but it's a real pretty golden color to it. And just fill your pans, as equal as you can so that they're both the same amount. But you can see the batter, and I hope you can see the batter. It's very light. It's not real thick. It's more on the thinner side, so don't worry about that. But I want to get it all out. Okay. Sorry about that noise. Okay. And then just, before you put it in, lightly tap your pans and that type of thing. Now, you'll want to put this in a preheated oven at 350, anywhere from 20 to, anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. Mine come up in around 20. Now, some of you are going to find at 25. Maybe your oven sets up differently. It's going to take you 30. So that's why I'm giving you the idea 20 to 30, because you'll want to, you want to test them with a cake tester or a toothpick, that kind of thing, when it springs back and pulls away to the side, because you don't want to over bake them and have them come out, extremely dry. Now, I want to take some items out of my fridge here, because we want to assemble the cake, but I do want to wash my hands before I do that, because I was handling raw eggs. Now, once that the cakes bake up, you're going to have, again, 2 9-inch cakes. You will need a knife, and I actually use a bread knife to cut the cakes so into half. So you'll have 4 halves, okay? So just to give you an idea, you can see, and I hope you can see how nice and thin that they will come out, okay, when you cut them. Now, I did use that bread knife, as I mentioned. And here's 2 more. And here's the 4th one. Now, what you're going to do is, your first quarter of it, because again, there's going to be 4 pieces. You're going to cut each cake into 2. Then use strawberry jelly if you'd like, whatever type of jelly that you like. But this is strawberry, so just put a nice coating down. You decide how much you want or whatever. I generally use about 15 ounces of strawberry jelly when I make this cake. But again, if you think that's too much, that's, you know, then just, you know, don't put as much down. It'll be really up to you. So I started the layer so it'll be a little bit faster for the video. Okay, so do that. Now, on the next layer that you're going to put down, put that right on top, and then you're going to make pudding. Now, it's easiest to make the instant pudding, but this is a chocolate pudding, and I'm going to put some pudding on top of it. Now, this is just one box of chocolate pudding that I made, and it's instant. So just layer that on. Now, again, it's going to be up to you how much you want to put in. I like it to be quite a bit. I want, when a person gets a piece of this cake, there's lots of nice filling in it. Okay, so it'll be up to you if you use half of this or a little less, but I like it to have a nice fill to it. Okay, all right, try to prevent it from running over to the edge a little bit here, but it does happen. Okay, now I'm going to also give you some other ideas as far as flavors when I get this all assembled. Okay, so then you'll put your pudding layer down. Okay, right? Now we're going to put the next layer down. Again, you can see how nice and thin they are, and just put that on top. Then go back to your favorite jelly. And again, I think I mentioned to you I used about 15 ounces, but again, that'll be up to you. Now again, you know, you decide how much or little that you want to put on. Okay. I want to use that all up. Now, if you put too much on, just grab a spoon and pull some of it off. But again, I like a nice, so everybody gets lots of filling when they get their piece of cake. Now, in making this cake, you can get quite a few servings out of it. Believe it or not, I have gotten as many as like 15 servings of it. It is a bit sweet too, so you don't want your servings to be too large, unless, you know, of course, people, they, you know, don't mind that it's sweet. Maybe they want another piece or a bigger piece, so you decide on that. Okay, and then just spread that out. I want to go to the edge, but I don't want to go too far on the edge. All right, so we have that done. Now we have our last little layer. Okay, and I'm going to actually use the bottom, okay, because I want it to be smooth. I don't want it to be crumbly, so I'm going to put that on top. Now, I've seen this made. This lady has made it where she just dusts powdered sugar over it. I've seen people eat them plain like this, but what we're going to do is, let me get one more thing out of the refrigerator, and we're going to put a topping on it. Now, you can use your whipped cream or your topping that comes into a container and put that over the top. As you see, I'm going to have to hold it because it's a little bit wobbly. I'm going to put that on the top. Then I can spread this. Now, you don't have to put it on the sides if you don't want to, so that everybody can see the sides, or I think they call them naked sides now on the cakes. Now, what I generally do is, if I do cover it but I think I'm going to actually leave it out, and I'm just going to let the topping sort of drizzle down. I think that'll look very, very pretty as well. Okay, now once you do that, okay, I'm just going to take a little bit of chocolate jimmies and put that over the top. Let me just put a little bit more here. All right, like that. There we go. Okay, like that. And I'm going to put it in the refrigerator and chill it for at least 2 hours before I cut it, so that I'll have some nice clean pieces when it comes out, okay? And it does just make for such a pretty cake. And again, like I said, if you choose, you want to do the sides, feel free to do that. Now, there are other variations to this cake. If you don't want to use chocolate, go ahead and use vanilla or lemon. Goes really well. And then you can use currant jelly, that flavor, if you like. And another one is raspberry. Goes very, very well with vanilla pudding or lemon pudding. So currant or raspberry if you don't want to use the chocolate. I just kind of changed it up a little bit because the person that I'm giving this cake to really loves chocolate and strawberry. But my friend always makes it with vanilla, currant, or raspberry. So please give this recipe a try. If you do and you like it, we'll leave a comment. But I will tell you, if you don't watch me on YouTube, when you write to me or give a comment or have a question, I don't get those, so I can't answer you. And I always say this at the end of all my videos. It is so frustrating when I go on these other sites where they've taken my videos and I see that you're asking a question and I want to answer and I can't. So please watch me on YouTube solely. And if you're so inclined and you want to subscribe, boy, I'd appreciate it. And if you give me a like, that's fantastic, or even ring the bell. I want to always thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube, and give this cake a try. I think you're going to like it. It's a little bit different, but it is a lot of fun to make, and it does taste quite good. Okay, well, thank you again, and I'll see you soon.